Hello, I'll be going over Etude number 6 from Schroeder's 107D Foundational Studies. There's a lot of different challenges to think about for Etude number 6, but first I'll demonstrate. So this one is certainly the longest etude out of the 6 etudes, and it's definitely a marathon, tiring marathon, because you have to play a lot on the upper half, which can require a lot of energy. So first thing we have to do is realize that the instructions are for us to play at the upper half, meaning our forearm is going to be our motor power. And our hand is going to be a lot firmer than if we were playing at the upper half, playing with the upper arm on the lower half of the bow, which our hand and kind of arm becomes a lot more loose compared to firmer upper kind of elbow. So now that we know that, one way to kind of preliminarily work at this etude is to realize we're in the key of C major. And pretty much this is just a study in C major, just going up and down the scale. So first I think we should familiarize ourselves with the C major scale and practice it that way. So practicing the C major scale in the upper half of the bow would be probably a good idea. Different rhythms just so you can get used to it. And so forth. After you get comfortable with C major, then we can start approaching this etude. One of the first things I want to kind of point out is, again, this is a scale, so we should treat it like a scale. In my kind of scale philosophy, I like to think when I'm going up this scale, for instance, I want to keep my 4 down as long as I can as I'm going up the scale. I only transfer my 4 to the next string from when I'm about to play the 3rd finger, and as I keep going up, I do that same kind of thought process. in these first few measures, we can use that same exact principle. As a matter of fact, it kind of tells us to do that between the first and the second measure, holding our 4 down as we play the open G. But even in the next measures 3 and 4, we can still hold our 4 down pretty much the entire time. I'll demonstrate the first 4 measures. The 4 down. Now it has again that bracket to keep our 4 down again. So a lot of this piece will have us kind of thinking about that and practicing it. One way we can work on this is just using our left hand. Another way we can do this is maybe practicing C major scale by holding the open string of the next to our left. So forth, just to kind of practice being able to hold our 4 down without kind of touching the other string. So yeah, the other hard part about this piece is the endurance of staying in this upper half and just keep going and going and going. So one way we can relieve some tension is by catch, release, catch, release. Because if we're catching and holding the whole time, it can be pretty tiring. But if we practice this catch and release, in some ways we can kind of release some of that tension or held weight in our hand that will allow us to kind of continuously play there longer in the upper half. The other thing is sometimes we just gotta build that endurance. That's like if we're running, we can't run 10 miles if you've never ran a mile before. And we'll be really tired after that. So we have to slowly build up to it. Feel free to take breaks. Maybe one day you practice only 3 lines, and the next day you practice the next 3 lines, and so forth. And start adding those miles or lines in, so you can get all the way to the end in the upper half and still not be tired at the end, or at the very least feel not too tense. So yeah, I think this A2 definitely is kind of the first introduction to a big endurance challenge to a lot of younger cellists. So yeah, the other thing to think about is as we're coming down some of these scalar passages, we have to remember we have to pull, almost like left hand pits. You don't necessarily have to pits, but the idea of coming in is important into your hand, your forearm. And if you go up, 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 not only does that kind of throw off our hand completely out of alignment, but if we have to go down fast again, we have a lot more ground to cover compared to here. This action is a lot faster than this action. So as you work through this etude, it's important to just take it slow, chunk by chunk. Really work out your left hand first in the agility, and work out C major, and kind of go through these sections line by line, phrases by phrases, 2-bar phrases by every, and figure out where do I have to keep my fingers down, where do I have to tap, where do I have to come back and do our pull method. So yeah, I hope this gave you a little more clarity in this etude, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment, shoot me a text, or shoot me an email, or ask me in the next lesson. Hopefully this gets you through it. We'll see you next time.